I like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, which is probably my problem in the beginning, you know.
The most beautiful girls, like the 10 out of 10s, right? When they hit like 21, 22, 23, they'd always be dating some like normal looking dude. Some dude with maybe a dad bod.
I'm not mad at a dad bod. I will make fun of myself. I like to goof around. Like, I need someone that can match that energy, that's not timid or won't make a fool of themselves singing karaoke, you know? Like, I need someone that's gonna have fun with me. If I can get this bad bitch, maybe I can get other bad bitches.
So I remember thinking, if I could just get a girlfriend, I'll finally be happy, right? I'll feel validated, I can get girls, and then also everybody will know I'm not gay. So kind of two birds with one stone. And I'm like, this is the guy that you cheated on me with? And so I still remember the last thing I said to her. I was like, Julie, I would do anything to make you happy. I just want to know why. And she literally goes like this. She shrugs her shoulders and she's like, I just got bored.
I get booked for being a certain look, a certain type of person, and that's how it is in LA. If you don't fit a part, if you don't look a certain type of way, you won't get booked for certain things.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans. First of all, thanks to all of our listeners. We have been seeing some explosive growth over the last couple weeks, so we got to thank you guys for that. Today, we got a special guest on the show. This is Melyssa.
Hi, guys. Nice to meet you. I'm Melyssa.
Melyssa, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, tell everybody name, what you do, and your star sign.
My star sign. So my name is Melyssa Lopez. I'm from LA. I am an aspiring model, as well as I do maybe like 4 other jobs. And star sign is what, my astrology sign?
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo. That goes to show you I'm not very in tune with all of that. Yeah.
I think you're the only girl in LA that doesn't believe in star signs.
It's not that I don't believe it. It's just I'm not like fixated on every little thing that it has to say, you know. A lot of it, I do see that it is true. Like, it's pretty accurate for a lot of people, but I don't think that makes a person.
See, I didn't believe in star signs until I started meeting Geminis. And then I was like, y'all are toxic.
They changed your world.
Yeah.
I'm not a Gemini. Don't say y'all. I'm not. That's the one with the 2 faces, right? The 2 moons or something like that.
Yeah. It's like the
okay.
2-face, yeah.
Okay, so I would say. Maybe.
I've only had a drink thrown on me twice in my life, and both times were from Geminis.
Okay.
To be fair, one time was my fault.
Okay.
The other time was the single greatest moment of my life, but that's a story for another time.
It was fun. I don't know. I've gone to a club one time where a girl like purposely throws a drink in a guy's face and like slaps him, and that's like they love it. Like they pay for it.
No, not like that. I'll tell you the story.
Okay.
So, what do you think about dating in LA? Because
it's hard.
It is hard.
It's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
What were we gonna say?
Do you find yourself falling into toxic relationships often?
To be honest, no, because I like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, which is probably my problem in the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and then little by little, you just start to pick up on the signs. You start to see a lot of repetitive signs in a lot of these guys from LA. They'll even, to the point where they'll even say the same things. They'll say the same phrases. It just gets very repetitive. And I feel like the mentality of LA dating is like, there's so many people out here. Dating is so accessible that it's just like, okay, if it doesn't work out with this person, there's this person. I can just go out to a club in LA and find another person, you know? That's how I feel like the vibe is in LA. Not a lot of people are serious. And the ones that are serious are going to be in their late 40s, early 40s. They want to get serious, you know?
And what's the oldest and youngest you've dated? How old are you? You're very
I'm 26.
Confusing. Really?
Yes.
Okay.
How old do I look?
Well, I would have said 32, 33.
Really?
In personality.
Wow.
But you look like you're like 20 with a fake ID.
I've never got 32, 33 before.
But no, for personality.
Okay.
You look like you're like 20.
Okay.
I don't know whether to talk to you about like business and investing or like
both.
doing Molly at Disneyland.
We could do both. Like I'll take shrooms at Disneyland. I told you I'm a mushroom brand representative, so I'll like microdose at Disneyland.
Nice.
But yeah, the oldest would probably be 32.
See, that surprises me.
Why?
You seem very mature for your age. I don't know if people have told you that before.
Since I could remember.
Did you have to grow up fast?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I worked in the modeling industry, right? Typically girls, when they'd first come into the industry, 18, 19, 20, right? They'd always be dating the young hot guy. Always some guy with TikTok hair and six pack. These guys, they're like clones of each other. They're dating the clones, right? But the most beautiful girls, like the 10 out of 10s, right? When they hit like 21, 22, 23, they'd always be dating some like normal looking dude. Some dude with maybe a dad bod. If you put on a brown shirt and dropped off your UPS package, like you wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not mad at a dad bod.
Exactly. But they would always be extremely successful or extremely charismatic, extremely intelligent, usually a little bit older. Like usually guys 35, 40, something like that. And people would always be surprised, especially in Wisconsin where I grew up. And they say, oh, this beautiful girl, she's with this guy? And they don't understand, yeah, she's been through hot guy phase. She's dated the male model types, and she got bored. And now she's looking for someone with more intelligence and more depth and everything else.
So I don't think it's that they get bored. I think that maybe, because from my experience, when I was younger, things that attracted me were more superficial, you know? So someone that looked good, someone that had a nice car, someone that looked like they had it together, you know? But then you get to know a person and you get to know their real life, their day-to-day. You realize they don't necessarily have it together. And I think the initial attraction, same as like for a guy, when they see a girl at the club walking down the street, a beautiful girl that catches their eye, they approach them, they want to date them. It's very surface level, very superficial, very physical if you're really getting down to it, you know? Then you really get to know a person and it just kind of fizzles out. It fades away because there's no depth. There's no longevity connection. There's no like, okay, we really are similar people. We really do like the same things. You kind of realize like, okay, the initial attraction kind of just like fades away. So then I feel like those girls that you're talking about, they go after the regular guys because those are the people that have, I don't want to say have to make up for their lack of looks with like charisma, but they definitely have character. They have a sense of humor. They have a kind heart. They are just like genuine good people. And that's honestly who I would go after now. I feel the same way. I would not go after the flashy person or someone that's like seeking attention or validation. I would go after a content person who's happy with what they have, who's just spreading love and light, who loves their family, a humble person, you know? And that's why you see those couples that are like, what is this beautiful girl doing with this regular average Joe, you know? But it's so much more than that. It's maybe what she wants in a person has changed. Like her values within herself have changed. Like she's thinking more long term instead of just the short term fun aspect of dating, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So okay, move the mic a little bit closer.
Yeah, me.
Or just sit closer.
Or I'll sit closer. Yeah. Me.
So you said you used to have a type, more of the flashy.
Yeah.
So what was your type back then in terms of looks and in terms of personality? And then I'm going to ask you, what's your type now?
Okay, so personality has always been the number one thing for me. Personality is like the number one thing that catches my attention. I like to have fun. I like to mess around. I will make fun of myself. I like to goof around. Like I need someone that can match that energy, that's not timid or won't make a fool of themselves singing karaoke, you know? Like I need someone that's going to have fun with me. But back then, obviously, like, you know, a nice car, money, whatever. I was super young, so an apartment meant that for whatever reason you were established or had
An apartment?
Yeah, your own place. That super young, I'm talking back then, meant that you were established, right? So like obviously now those things aren't as important because that's so tangible. Everyone has that. It's normal. Now it's more so like someone that is not a negative person, someone that's not complaining all the time, someone that can just go with the flow, make light of everything, make people laugh. Like that's more so my type now. The more so my type is like more humble, more genuine person, not someone that's like putting on a fake show, putting on a front, acting hard. Like I'm just so over that. So over that.
So let's say last 3 guys you dated. Were they fuckboys or were they nice guys? And you can be honest.
So I thought the last one was a nice guy. And if I'm being honest with you, they were younger than me. And I don't know if like, from what I understood and from what I heard of their previous dating history, they didn't have like the most beautiful girls. So I feel like, I don't know if it's possible that maybe dating me, their ego just kind of like blew up a little bit. And he kind of turned into a fuckboy.
You changed him.
Maybe he turned into a fuckboy. Yeah. So maybe he's like, well, if I can get this, can I cuss on here? Yeah. If I can get this bad bitch, maybe I can get other bad bitches, you know? And I feel like he kind of turned into a fuckboy. And then the previous 2 were definitely fuckboys who have tried to convince me that they're not fuckboys, but at the end of the day, end up being fuckboys.
So here's where I'm getting confused. So you say, I like nice guys with great personalities.
Now.
Oh, like this is very recent. Like
not
you
very
just
recent.
Decided.
Not recent. Not very
the
recent.
last 3, like.
I don't date often.
I
like,
see.
It's been years within like each one. You know, it's not like a week and a month. No, it's like years. Like I don't really date that often because I take it serious. I take dating very serious.
Yeah, I think the reality is every fuckboy.
I saw that you said yourself that you used to be a fuckboy.
Yeah, I'm recovering fuckboy.
Okay,
yeah.
So how old are you?
What do you think?
I'm gonna go somewhere in your 30s.
It's very broad.
32.
Right on the spot. Holy shit.
I'm good at that.
You are good. You stalked my Instagram before?
No, never.
Yeah, so the thing, I kind of have all of the experiences. I grew up shy, awkward, nice guy, friend zoned a million fucking times.
So did that happen to you? You got a pretty girl and your ego just exploded?
Opposite. Kind of the opposite, actually. So back in high school, I got made fun of a lot. My family was poor, and I was very shy and awkward because they were very religious. So I couldn't like talk. I didn't know how to talk to girls. So somebody started a rumor around school that I was gay. And gay back then wasn't trendy and cool. Like now, gay is like insult, right?
Right.
So I remember thinking, if I could just get a girlfriend, I'll finally be happy, right? I'll feel validated. I can get girls. And then also everybody will know I'm not gay. So kind of 2 birds with 1 stone, right? And it took until my junior year when one of my buddies like, yo, this Julie girl wants you to ask her to prom. So I'm like fucking pumped. I'm like, Zach, don't fuck this up, right?
Right.
So we start dating. I turn into the biggest nice guy simp pushover. I used to, this is going to make you cringe. Every Monday, I would wake up at 6 a.m. I would drive to the Walmart between our houses, and I would pick up some flowers and a bag of the purple Skittles because those were her favorite flavor. And I would write a little note and like leave it on her doorstep, right? Like a huge simp pushover weakling, right?
Right. That's not, I mean, that's cute. Like, that's cute.
See, you say that. We're going to get back to that.
Okay. I get you.
So, this is one of the girls that threw the drink in my face, but we'll get to that. One of the Geminis, yeah. So, 3 years, I do that, right? And 3 years in, now we're both in college. We're getting our degrees. And I get a call from my buddy. And he's like, yo, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but I'm at a party last night. I saw Julie go into one of the rooms with this guy. They're in there for half an hour.
Oh.
2 and 2 makes 4, right?
Right.
I'm like, no, she would never cheat. We're in love, blah, 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 blah. So the next day I go drive to her college to confront her. I'm standing at the door. I'm like shaking, right?
That takes balls.
Knock on the door. And I remember it was weird because when she opened the door, she didn't say, oh my God, you came and surprised me at my school. She was like...
She wasn't excited.
She was like, what are you doing here? And...
Red flag.
The crazy part is she just nonchalantly admitted it. She was like, yeah, I hooked up with this guy. But the part that bothered me more was this was a guy that she would always complain about. He's such an asshole. He was hooking up with two of my friends behind their back. They didn't even know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, this is the guy that you cheated on me with? And so I still remember the last thing I said to her. I was like, Julie, I would do anything to make you happy. I just want to know why. And she literally goes like this. She shrugs her shoulders. And she's like, I just got bored. And that moment, I was like, I will never be this fucking simp nice guy ever again. I will never be fucked over. And so the next 8 years, every morning I would wake up.
Was your fuckboy era.
And I would work on my fucking YouTube channel so nobody else could call me poor ever again. And I would just fuck as many girls as possible to try to fill the inner void so no girls could ever fuck me over again, right?
I feel it, yeah.
So 8 years later, I finally get rich. My YouTube channel finally blows up after like fucking 100 videos. I move to LA, get the mansion, get the car, and I find my ex on Instagram. I haven't talked to her in 8 years, and I go follow her. And she follows me back.
Just to flex real
Just
quick,
flex,
you know,
yeah.
like, look at me. Yeah.
So then, that night I post all of these stories, hanging with models in my mansion, with my dope car, right? And she unfollows me, so I know it kind of like hit her. So the next morning, I woke up early, I drove to Walmart, I bought a pack of the purple Skittles, and I took a picture and I DM'd her the picture, and I put, thank you for making me the man that I am today. And then underneath, this is the last toxic thing I ever did. I was like, so I can get girls that are way hotter than you and your big nose. Fire emoji.
Oh my goodness.
And that moment, I healed my inner child. All my trauma was gone. And I'm telling my buddies.
Closure.
My boys are pumped. They're like, yeah, get her, Zach, get her, Zach.
Uh-huh.
So a month later, I'm back in Wisconsin with my boys at this bar. We're just chatting. And all of a sudden, I just feel this splash of cold vodka cran all over my face. And it's my fucking ex. And she just goes, fuck you, and just walks out of the bar.
Oh my gosh, she did not let that go.
And I just basked in the moment. I didn't even wipe off just the vodka cran just like dripping down my face.
That's fair. That's valid.
But honestly, that was the day I dropped all my fuckboy shit. Because I realized that the reason that I was being a fuckboy was because I did have this insecurity that I never wanted to be fucked over again by a girl. So because of that, I would always hurt other people before they could hurt me.
That makes sense.
And now I'm kind of the third phase of the evolution, you know.
You're over it.
It
gets old.
It does get old.
It gets old.
And it's interesting because I see guys who are like older than me. And I mean, this happened probably like 3-4 years ago or whatever. And they're still just at the club trying to get more bitches.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, when will you get tired? Like when you're literally 50 years old and like can't no longer pull bitches? Like, is that when you're going to finally realize like, okay, maybe I should slow down. Maybe I should stop this. Like maybe I should stop being like this.
Because the reality is at some point, staying up till 4 a.m, to fuck some chick that you don't even really like, but she's hot.
And you're never going to see again.
You're never going to see again. Like, when is the point of, yo, bro, I just hooked up with this baddie? When does that get old? And it's just like, all right, I don't need this.
No.
I'd rather look for like a partner that we're building our empire together and we're traveling together and we're doing all these things.
Well, a lot of people don't experience that. They don't know what it feels like. They don't know what it feels like to, or maybe, I don't want to say they don't know what it feels like. They don't have the right examples in front of them. They've never witnessed it for themselves. What a healthy relationship, what a beautiful relationship, what a long-lasting relationship looks like. So they can't even look forward to it because they don't even know what that looks like. They don't even know what they're looking for. I've been fortunate enough to have my aunts, my uncles, who have been together for 13 plus years. Their best friends who are married have been together for 22 plus years. I've seen so many cases where they are genuinely happy, and I see them, I go out with them, and I feel like they're just dating. I feel like they're still new. I feel like they're still fresh. I feel like I would never think, if I saw you guys and I met you guys for the first time, I would never think that you guys have been married for 22 years. Like, I would never think that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the key is to it, but I think, you know, finding someone that you can be friends with and, like I said, have fun with, someone that you genuinely click with, someone that's not miserable, someone that also likes to have fun like you. Like, I think that's what the key is to making something last, you know?
Mm-hmm. See, but you seem like the type of person that would be very easy to get along with, very easy to have fun with.
I definitely am. I want to have fun. The thing is, I don't know. I guess I don't want to say I have bad luck, but maybe I'm looking in the wrong places, but it's just not been very nice for me.
Where do you typically meet guys?
I don't have like a designated area, but
like last couple guys you've dated, like is it like Hinge? Is it like
So I don't have any of those apps.
Good for you.
I don't have any dating apps. I'm so scared. I feel like I'm gonna be abducted or stolen or catfished. I just don't trust it. I will never get a dating app.
I have a catfish story for later. Remind me, but go ahead.
Okay. I will not do that. I prefer to meet people in person because people that even have met me in person, you know, they see my Instagram, they see my social media, and then they meet me in person and they're like, wow, you are not what I was expecting in person, you know? And they tell me, I hear this all the time. They're like, you're very nice. You're very, like you said, you're very mature for your age. And I'm like, was I not supposed to be nice? Was I not supposed to be mature? Like,
you don't come out like that at all in your Instagram.
Also, you
come off, I'm a bad bitch. Look how artistic. I got money all over me. Like, you're literally, you have one picture, you're like covered in money.
Okay, so that was inspired by clout-chasing, if you know who that is. I love her. I stan clout-chasing. She's a bad bitch. I had to recreate her shoot. No, but I get that. But also the reason why I do that is because I get jobs from my page. Yeah. I get booked.
It's a business thing.
I get booked for being a certain look, a certain type of person, and that's how it is in LA. If you don't fit a part, if you don't look a certain type of way, you won't get booked for certain things, you know? So I actually love the element of surprise that I give people, where I'm like, you're not what I expected. I genuinely love it, you know? So it is just for work. But anyone that I ever have dated, I have met them in person. I've never met them online. I don't really meet people that invite me out online, like to dates and stuff like that. I just don't do it. It seems very superficial. It seems very like mid.
Yeah, today, I mean, I don't know on the girl side of it, but from the guy's perspective, the level of catfish that is available now with AI and Facetune is unbelievable.
Am I a catfish?
No,
you had to think about it. You had to think.
You're
about
a personality catfish. You're more.
I'm a personality catfish. I'll take that.
I got lifestyle catfished one time in like 2020. There's this girl. This was back when TikTok was like first. Everybody was blowing up on TikTok, and so she had like 1 million followers. Whatever. Every day, this yacht, this private jet, Tulum, blah 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 blah. And every time we hung out, she would always be like, oh yeah, I'll come to your place. And she was like in the valley. So one day I was like, yo, you come here all the time. Like, I can like come to your place every so often, like make the drive. She's like, nah, it's okay. I'm like, that's weird. So one day I end up going over there. And have you been to the valley?
Yes.
Okay. So, you know, the valley is like, I tell people it's like, have you seen Lion King, the movie?
Yes.
You know Simba and Mufasa are up on Pride Rock, and Mufasa's like, he's like, Simba, this is your kingdom. Okay. Everything the light touches is yours. Okay. And then he's like, see those dark shadowy areas? Never go there. There's crackhead hyenas. You're going to get robbed. She was in the shadowy areas of the valley. Okay. Like there's like bars over the windows, graffiti. There's feral children scurrying around in the sewers. It was like very sketch. Okay. So I get up to her house. I was like, oh yeah, give me the tour. Our 3 roommates are on the couch or whatever. And she opens this door. And I'm like, oh, this is a nice like walk-in closet. And she's like, no, Zach, this is my room. And I look down. There's just a mattress on the ground. No fitted sheet. I can put my hands like this and I can touch both of the walls.
As a woman, no fitted sheet is, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And the craziest part, you're not going to believe this. We start watching a movie on her laptop.
It's like Harry Potter's closet.
Kind of like the cupboard, yeah.
Okay.
It was like cupboard under the stairs.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
Hey, it is what it is. And we start watching a movie on Hulu. And you're not going to believe this. She had Hulu with advertisements.
You're nice. You stayed.
Well, yeah, for a little bit.
Nice.
but it's just crazy. If you look at her lifestyle on Instagram, private jet, Tulum, everything, and then it's
that's
like
a little wild.
No, like you're living like in this blah, like you don't have a lifestyle, but it's just LA for you.
That's a lot of LA, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, she was fun. It was definitely fun for a while, but I definitely go for different things nowadays than I did before.
The same as how I said, you just go after different things after a while.
Yeah. Have you ever been in love?
Yes.
How many times?
I would say twice.
And how did you know you were in love?
One of them was, we were best friends for like 3 years before we started dating. And I would have never like considered dating this person, like ever. Just because I wasn't like physically attracted to them. If I'm being completely honest, like this was my best friend,
Some girls like ugly guys with good personalities,
Personality goes a long way. I'm not gonna deny that. Personality definitely can get you far. But no, this person was just my best friend for 3 years. I think it was just the consistency of them like constantly showing up, constantly always being there, constantly like, I wouldn't say coming to my rescue, but coming to my rescue that made me, maybe caught me on a vulnerable state, and it just opened that door to where we started dating. And like I said, I think the same thing happened where their head just got a little big and they just started being different and shady, and they started doing things that I never thought my best friend would do, and like lie to me and things like that. And it just got really toxic. And
did they cheat or did they just be sketchy?
No, they cheated. And you know what? This story goes even further than that, but I don't know if I want to get into that.
Gotcha.
There's like jail involved.
Oh shit.
Someone is still in jail right now because of that relationship.
That's crazy.
But long story short, this is my best friend. Even when things got a little ugly, we were still kind of like on and off, kind of working it out. I thought that at the end of the day, we would just come back together and like figure our shit out and like make it happen. And I found out through that person's best friend that he had a girl like 3 months pregnant from work.
Whoa.
And like it just like hit me like a truck. And I was just like, what? Like this person would never do that. Like,
that's how
I'm like, you're joking, right? Like this was previous, this is past tense, like they handled it. Like this is, and they're like, no, she's 3 months pregnant right now. And I'm like, well, thank you for letting me know. And then obviously like I ended things. That was the last I ever spoke to that person ever again. But I think that just really closed me off to everything. I'm like, I gave the ugly guy a chance. I gave like the guy with only personality a chance, and he still did me wrong. Like, what? So now I found myself like in this area of like, okay, you can't do the flashy guys that have the personality that know that they got it, and you also can't go with the not cute personality guys. Like, where can I win? Like, where am I? So I just have definitely taken a lot of time to myself, and just try to figure it out. But I'm not closed off to anything. Like, I'm very open to anything. If anything seems good, I feel like I have a good towel now. I can read people's energies. I can, like, see when someone's good, someone's bad. But the problem is there's a lot of bad people out there. And I tend to cut things off very quick because the second I see, like, one little sign of ingenuineness, I'm like, oh, no. I'm not going through that again.
Your bullshit meter is very tuned.
Yeah, I literally call bullshit on everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
it's a curse and a blessing, I will say.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like when I first moved to LA, because I'm from Wisconsin, which is very conservative,
right.
Morals, values, character. The crazy thing to me is in LA, if you text somebody, let's hang out Friday, then you have to text them on Wednesday, we still good for Friday? Then Thursday, hey, just checking in, still good for tomorrow? Then Friday morning, and then they still sometimes flake.
I agree.
Which is insane.
That's better than someone telling you, hey, come to this party on Friday, and then Friday comes around and they don't mention it, bring it up.
Just ghost.
Just like, I'm like, oh, since, I guess I'm not going to your party because I don't even know if you're still having it because you haven't brought it up. Oh, no, I assumed that you knew. Like, you're there. Like, that's like the fuckboy region. That's like, well, I told you about it. You should already know. You should just automatically invite yourself. Like, you should just pull up. No questions asked. No check-in. That's like, there's two different types of people, I prefer the checking in a few days before person. Versus the assumption person.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of a necessity nowadays, and especially in LA. In Wisconsin, I can text somebody Monday, and I can just show up, and they'll just show up. And it is what it is. Do you have a lot of close friends in LA?
I do have a lot of close friends, yeah. I do.
I feel like it's much more difficult as a girl, especially as an attractive girl, to make friends in LA than it is for guys. I've met so many girls that I'll say, oh, my friend Tori, we met 2 weeks ago. I'm like, what happened to all the other people? What happened to everybody you met the last 8 years of your life? Like, why are they not your best friends?
Right. No.
And I do think some of it comes from, because people have this vibe that if you're a beautiful girl in LA, life's just easy, free drinks, free dinners, more opportunities, but they don't realize that every opportunity has an invisible string attached, and every girl, you don't know if are they really my friend, or are they secretly jealous of me behind my back?
100%. That happens so much in LA. Like 100%. A lot of girls are even just attached to a pretty girl just to try to benefit off their opportunities and what they have to offer, whatever comes their way. And I've definitely had that. I've definitely experienced that. But I've realized I have friends that I've known since I was like 15, 16 years old that I'm still friends with to this day, that we may not see each other every single other week, but every celebration, every birthday, every whatever big important moment, we're there for each other, you know? But you gotta just like kind of learn how to fish those people out.
But I think too, because of how I read you, is you have your priorities straight. Whereas, let me give you an example. So my ex, and we're still friends to this day, and I would see her multiple times where she'd be at a party with her real, genuine friends having actual fun, and then she gets a text that there's another party and G-Eazy's there, or this TikToker's there. Half the time the promoter was lying to her, and there's like not even a celebrity there, right? And I would see her leave her real friends to go to some party to try to get some level of clout or status or whatever, something that doesn't even exist in real life. It just exists in our brains. And so one day, she comes up to me. She's like, Zach, it's my birthday. Can I use the house? Everybody's always asking me, can I use, the house for an event or something? I'm like, yeah, sure, go for it. She buys all these decorations, food and drinks, all this stuff. She's like, Zach, on the party full, I have 80 people coming. I'm super excited. And 10 people showed up to her birthday. And it was mostly guys who probably just wanted to fuck her, to be honest with you.
Right.
And she's like crying about it. And of course, I'm empathetic in the moment. It's your birthday. You know, I feel bad for you. But a week later, I sat her down and I'm like, look, the reality is if you continue to prioritize clout and celebrity and status, at some point you made your bed and now you have to sleep in it. You know?
It's true. Yeah, no, I've already done that. I've been there. I've been to those celebrity parties. I've been to number of celebrities' houses, Halloween parties, like all that. Mm-hmm. Everything you can imagine. I can go off on the list of people that their houses I've been to, but all of that is like that night and that's it. You're not going to get wifed up forever because of that night. You're not going to, the clout chasing, whatever, like, yeah, you're going to be around those people that night, but you're never going to see them again. Mm-hmm. Like, even if someone asked me the other day, he's a bartender that I know, actually. And he's like, he brought up my whole modeling thing. And he's like, you know, you mean to tell me that if Drake were to pull up right now with the party bus and was like, get in, like, you wouldn't go? And I'm like, you know what? Maybe younger, 100%. I would so jump in, be so excited. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm older, I'd probably be like, I'm okay. Like, it's just going to be this one night and that's it. I'm never going to see you again. I'm never going to talk to you again. Like, that's literally what LA is. Like, that's all it is, you know? And I just feel like it gets old. Like, it gets so old. And it's not worth it on a girl's end. Maybe for a guy, if you were the celebrity guy and you could bring all those girls for the night, like, it's worth it. 100% it's worth it. But for a girl, like, it's costing you so much more than what you're getting in return. Like, it's just what for you? No, it's not worth it.
Well, it's bizarre to me because, like you said, I understand a guy wanting to get clout because the reality is, whether you like it or not, girls respond to clout and status. If you're a guy, you have clout status, girls are going to like you more. I've seen it over and over again. But if you're a girl and you go to Drake's house, you just get clout to get the clout.
And
that's all.
And you
like,
kind of
nobody
like,
cares.
No, and you're kind of like a groupie at that point. You're kind of just like,
yeah,
oh, you're one of those.
Even if you hook up with Drake, he's going to hook up with you. And then he's just going to discard you like every other girl.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's so not worth it. Like, I would never want to date those people.
I think people do it literally just so they can tell people.
The validation.
I was at Drake's party. Look at my Instagram story. I'm at Drake's house. I'm the cool kid in high school. You're the lame nerd in high school. I'm better than you. It's literally just high school all over again, wanting to be the cool kid, essentially.
Yeah, no, I've been to so many celebrities' houses, and I'm like, I don't, like, I'm at this person's house. Like, no. Mm-hmm. Just, it gets old, I'm telling you. It's so superficial. It's not. You go home, and it's like, okay, well, that was cool. Like, that was fun. But there's no, like, nothing's retained. The gratitude and like the joy of it is not permanent. Like, it's literally like, oh, that was just today. That was it. Like, yeah, it just goes away the next day.
That's how I feel about like the fuckboy shit. It's like, oh, you
okay, but how many years did it take for you to get that out of your system?
But to be fair, I was a professional fuckboy, not like these amateur fuckboys you see nowadays who ride like bird scooters and, you know, their bed touches 2 walls, and you're just like, do you not know what a nightstand? How do you guys not like fall for these fuckboys nowadays? I don't understand.
Okay, and the girls are still falling for these boys?
Yes.
That's crazy.
My friend the other day, she fell for some dude who posts six-pack selfies from LA Fitness on Hinge. Like, be an adult fuckboy.
I can never
go to Equinox. Get your 6-pack selfies at Equinox like a real fuckboy and post them on Raya. Like, none of these, like, lame amateur fuckboys, you know?
I feel like any dating app is just automatically programmed to be like, you like how I look, and you want to fuck. Like, that's what it is. If we're meeting up, it's for one thing and one thing only. Yeah, we're going to have small talk. Maybe have dinner. But at the end of the day, you know what it is, you know? And that's how I feel all those dating apps are. And that's why I will never do it. Like, I just don't want that. I do not want that.
What I didn't like, because I tried dating apps for probably like
for a
2
guy,
months.
I get it, but for a woman, there's more perks for a guy than a woman, I feel.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
But there is a decent amount of people who are like, oh, how'd you meet your boyfriend? Hinge, Tinder?
I have never heard that.
I hear that all the time.
I have never heard that.
Interesting.
Never. Never.
What do you think about the whole sugar daddy scene in LA? Have you tried it? Do you have friends who've tried it?
I definitely have friends who've tried it. I feel like I'd be too scared. I feel like they're gonna try to trap me.
Kidnap you, put you in the back of the truck.
Not kidnap me, but like get me pregnant. Force me to be with them. You know, that's how I feel.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I got accused of being a sugar daddy one time.
Were you?
No.
You've
well,
never,
in
you've
my
never
opinion.
been
Okay. So I'm from Wisconsin. There's no sugar daddies. The
that
girl,
doesn't
the
mean
girls
that you can come
are too
can't
ugly
come
and
to
the,
LA
the
and
guys
be a
are too
sugar
broke.
daddy. Okay.
So coming to LA was like a kind of culture shock that it's so normalized. And one of my friends, she's like the most powerful sugar baby I've ever seen in my life. Okay. She has like
good for her.
10 sugar daddies. This guy buys her purses. This one pays her rent. She's like all the infinity stones of like
let
the
me
sugar
talk
daddies.
to her. Like
I'll give you your number after. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And we're talking one time, and this is in front of all our friends. And she's like, Zach, you're a sugar daddy, you know? And I was like, what do you mean? And she was referring to the fact that I like to travel, right?
Okay.
And if I'm dating a girl and I'm traveling, Europe, Asia, whatever.
She's just automatically invited.
Yes. And I'm paying for everything. And to me, I grew up, my father was very old school, right? He taught me chivalry. You always pay on a date. If you're on the sidewalk, walk on the car side. So if a car comes, you can stop it with one hand and protect your girl with the other.
Very nice.
Old school, yeah.
Okay.
So if I'm on a trip, it feels weird to me if I'm like, hey, babe, here's a Venmo request for the $87.27 for the Uber ride. It feels like, no, I'm a man. I'm going to pay for this. You know what I mean? And she goes, okay, Zach, so you're a sugar daddy because you're paying for all these hotels and resorts and plane tickets and things like that. And it bothered me because I didn't have a good response. And I couldn't think of a reason why that's any different than what a sugar daddy does.
Okay.
Because in reality, every guy pays for girls in some ways. Maybe it's drinks, maybe it's dinner. So well, let me ask you this. Where do you draw the line between this is a sugar daddy, this is a normal relationship?
So I would say that's like dating, right? What you're doing.
That's how I classify it.
Yeah, you're dating.
Sure.
So it's like, okay, if we're dating and like I kind of got it like that and we're going to experience this together. I feel like that's just tied into dating. Mm-hmm. I think sugar daddy would be more like a transactional, like you're only coming over here for one thing. You skedaddle. I send you the little Venmo, Zelle, whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of it. There's no like deeper intimacy as far as conversation, as far as like spending quality time together. I don't feel like a lot of sugar daddies do that. Maybe they do. I'm not experienced in the sugar daddy area, but
it's interesting you say that because I have met a lot of girls who have a sugar daddy, and you can tell when the sugar daddy like breaks up with them or dumps them, whatever, that they were in love with their sugar daddy. You can tell by the way they talk about it. They would talk about it the same way they would talk about one of their exes, and they're heartbroken and they're angry and they're emotional about it. And
maybe it's just the rejection.
I think they really do, because I think a lot of girls start hanging out with these guys, and then for girls, sex is a much more bonding experience, I think, than for guys.
It definitely is.
And I think
chemically it is.
That combined with the fact that a lot of sugar daddies are decently young nowadays. There's sugar daddies like mid-30s, 40, and they just got money, and they're not even that weird. They're just like, yeah, I have my business. I don't got time for fucking Tinder. This is just easier. Just here's $500, come over, whatever. And so a lot of these girls do fall in love with their sugar daddies. I think, like, for real.
I can see that. Maybe it's more like the sex plus the lifestyle that they're providing them with, you know, the easygoing, like soft girl lifestyle, as they call it now.
Soft girl lifestyle?
Yeah.
I never heard that. That's
really? Look it up. It's a big thing now.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. I don't know. Like I said, I've never experienced that for myself, so I can't really like speak too much on it. But if someone were to come my way and do everything right, I'd probably fall in love with them too.
Mm-hmm. I will say that, and I've kind of changed my mind on this, is I do think that girls should care about money in a relationship.
Yeah.
Where before I would have said, no, it's just about connection. It's about whatever.
Well, stability is the word, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of girls fall into the ambition trap. Where they're like, I don't care if a guy's successful, just he's ambitious. And
yeah,
I'm like,
no, I'm not. I don't.
I'm like, yo,
that.
If he's over the age of 30,
I don't
and
agree with that statement.
he's still trying to make his crypto app or his multi-level marketing scheme or his iPhone app work out, he's probably never gonna have any money.
Yeah, no, definitely established people are where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, there's like an invisible price to pay with everything, you know? Someone that's established probably has a bigger ego, probably isn't a loyal person. Like there's just different things that come along with every category of person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a person with less money is more inclined to be a more loyal, loving person because they're like, I have a lot less to lose. Like I have a lot more risk here. Like I need to hold on to whatever I have that's good versus someone that has a lot of money, is established, could be like, oh, if I lose this one, I could find it somewhere else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So there's like, you got to weigh your options.
Yeah.
With the people that you date.
It can be difficult. So like one of my last well, let me ask you this first. What do you think about traditional male-female roles in relationships?
As far as what, like the woman staying at home, cooking and cleaning, all that.
Yeah, the guy's the provider, protector. The girl is the house taker, you know.
So I'm Hispanic. In my household, my family, the woman takes care of the man. Mm-hmm. And naturally, all the women kind of just like learn that, pick up on that role. And I'm a huge lover girl. Like, I have nothing but brothers. I'm the only girl in my family. I have 4 brothers.
That's the same with our family.
I have 4 brothers.
I have 4 brothers and a sister. Yeah.
I have no sisters. So I took on that woman, you know, nurturing role. My mom's the most loving person ever, mm-hmm. the sweetest person ever. So, like, acts of service is a love language in, I think, Hispanic culture. So I have no problem being that person that takes care of their man, that cooks for them, cleans, like does all of that. But in return, I'm not saying pay for everything because you heard how many jobs I have. Like, I like to work. I like to hustle. I'm a people person. I want to have my own business. I feel like you can definitely do both in today's age. You don't have to just be a stay-at-home mom. You can definitely do both. You can take care of home. You can take care of your kids and your husband, but then also have something that you're proud of for yourself, something that doesn't give the man like, what's the word? I don't want to say all the power, but all the leverage, you know, like not letting him think like, oh yeah, I got it like that. Like, she's not going to go anywhere because she's nothing without me, you know, like I take care of everything. If a woman does everything that she does, takes care of your husband, loves them, feeds them, cooks, cleans, takes care of the kids, and then still has something going for herself, it kind of puts the male on his toes. Like, it kind of puts him like, I don't want to say equal grounds, but just kind of like, I'm going to value this person. I'm going to treat them not like they're just disposable, not like they're nothing without me, but I'm going to value them to the sense where it's like, okay, if she doesn't have me, she's still going to make it happen with or without me, you know? Like, mm-hmm. I just feel like there's more appreciation in the sense, you know? So I'm all for being that loving, stay at home, I'll cook for you every day, clean, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, it's we're even. We're not, you're not better than me. Like, we're in this together, you know?
See, here's the problem. The problem is, and you seem like you have your head on straight with a lot of this stuff, but Beyonce and Andrew Tate are ruining relationships in Western civilization.
Andrew Tate. I hate that guy.
I have mixed feelings.
Some of the things that he says, okay, I can't argue with, but like a lot of things that he says are just very misogynistic, and I just can't. I can't.
So I think the problem nowadays is, like, you know, you said back in the day, there's like the kind of masculine, feminine roles, right? And now it's 2024. It's like, it's like with Beyonce and TikTok and every movie that you ever see, it's like girl power, independence, make your own bag, all this stuff, which is great on paper. I agree with it. The problem is, and I'm going to shit on guys in a second, so don't worry about that. The problem is a lot of girls nowadays want to have this I'm a boss bitch attitude, but then they don't want to fill the role of being the provider and making their own money. They don't want to get a job. They don't want to work hard, because the truth is, being a boss is not fun.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's sacrifice. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. Something went wrong. You got to fix it.
100%.
You're the boss, right?
100%.
So we have a lot of girls, at least from my experience, I'm a boss bitch, don't want the responsibility of being a boss bitch. And then on the flip side, you get these dudes who watch 3 Andrew Tate videos, and they're like, I am the alpha. And I'm like, really? Well, what are you the alpha of? You're a Fortnite clan?
What are you providing here?
Are you the alpha of the Wendy's that you're cashier at? Like, you can't just say you're the alpha. You have to like back that shit up with like build your own business, fucking start some shit, like make your money, you know?
100%.
So now we have these relationships where everybody wants to be the boss, but nobody's doing shit. And it's like,
work for it.
What's that? Like, who's bringing everything to the table, and just nobody brings anything?
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I agree. That's describing all of LA right now.
Yeah.
If you ask any girl if they would prefer to be put up and be a housewife or have their own business, I feel like 80%, 75% would be like, I would much rather be put up.
Interesting.
And be taken care of and just be a stay-at-home mom.
See, I think a lot of people would say that I want to start my own business. But then they literally don't even want to do step 1 of starting their own business, kind of thing.
I see.
What do you think about like the whole manifesting your business or your goals and that whole thing?
I feel like manifestation can be real. Sometimes I'll like think of a person and like they'll just pop up literally in my face somewhere in public.
Mm-hmm.
But a part of me is like, okay, is that coincidence? A part of me is like, how do I tune in to this? If that is manifestation, how do I tune into this in every aspect of my life? Like, because I wasn't even thinking that hard, you know? Mm-hmm. How do I like grasp this? How do I make it tangible? How do I make this a tool? How do I like make this work for me? And I haven't figured it out. So I feel like a part of it is just spirituality. If you believe in something enough, it'll come true. But 50-50, you have to want it. You have to put in the work for it. Like, it's not just going to be given to you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how I feel too, is I think manifestation, it's like 2 things that are completely different, but people describe it all as manifestation.
But you can't just wish for something and expect it to happen.
Yeah, and that's my main problem is in practice, people, when I talk to girls, I want to be a model, I want to be an actress, I want to be whatever. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing? And they're like, I'm manifesting it. And I'm like, you're just watching Netflix. Like,
no.
What do you mean?
No, you have to be actively working towards it. And then I feel like things will just kind of line up. It's because you're working towards it, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I've met a lot of people I'll shoot with someone and then their followers see me on their page and then I'll get a job through that. And then it just is the domino effect. It just keeps going like that, you know? Mm-hmm. So some of it, yeah, I guess is manifestation, but you have to actively be working towards it. You have to like actively be envisioning, or like whether it's like, okay, I'm just doing this for networking experience, I'm not getting paid for it, you know, like even that can be going towards the goal, you know, like manifesting what you want. But it's not just gonna happen because you dreamt it. Like, oh, I wish this, I wish I got signed. Like, no, it's not gonna happen like that.
It's
not in my opinion.
It's actually a huge red flag to me if girls are really into manifestation.
Would you say that's more spiritual or non-spiritual?
Well, the reason it's a red flag, especially if it's like an attractive girl, is I feel like it's a sign that you're not aware of how the world works, because I've had girls that I've dated, hey, I just manifested a free trip to Europe. And I'm like, no, you just posted a thirst trap for 365 days. And statistically, some rich dude who wants to fuck you is buying you a trip to Europe. When you're praying to the universe, you're praying to some old rich dude. That's not the universe.
But is that really how you want your trip to Europe? Like, is that how you want to attain your trip to Europe, you know?
And that's the thing, is it's not that direct. Typically, it might be something like, oh, I'm going with a promoter who's getting paid by an old rich dude who's trying to fuck you. It's like one of those scenarios. And by the way, I think there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of girls go on these trips. They don't fuck anybody. They just have fun, you know, teach their own kind of thing. But the fact that you're not aware that that's happening to you means, okay, what happens when you go with your girlfriends and I'm not there and it just happened magically? Oh, whatever, the drinks were flowing. I suddenly have feelings for some random dude. And it makes me not trust somebody.
That's the thing, though. I've learned that there's categories of people.
Mm-hmm.
There's people who every time they're presented with that situation, drinks are flowing, it's a good time, whatever, etc., etc. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be their outcome.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to hook up with someone.
Yeah.
Versus there's people who are very like reserved, very like, I can be around anyone having a good time, drunk, maybe a little bit past my limit, and I'm still very selective, like very like, no, like, yeah, I'm drunk, but that's not gonna happen. Like, it's just such a short-term gratification. Sometimes it's not even guaranteed that it's gonna be good or you're gonna have a good time or that it's gonna be worth it. That it's just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I can be past my limit and I genuinely won't do that. So with all the amount of girlfriends that I have, I've learned there's different categories of girls that will do different things, that'll go to different extremes. I've even had to stop being friends with some people because of how often these things would happen and they would just cross lines. And it's just, I don't want to be around those people. I want to be around strong-headed people that are like, know their self-worth, know their values. Like, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't have to, because I'm not trying to validate myself in any way. I came to have a good time with my girls. I had a good time with my girls. We're calling it a night. Like, I'm not going to cross that line, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So there's just different people in the world, different categories.
Yeah, you're much more, you seem very educated on the scene and how everything works. Actually, it's funny, that's a big, speaking of Andrew Tate, because that's one of his things. He's like, no, if I'm dating a girl, she doesn't go to the club with her girlfriends. And I'm 50-50 because, like you said, there are some girls who will tell me to my face, Zach, I would never cheat on you. Don't worry, it's just with the girls. And I believe that in that moment, they're not lying to me because they genuinely believe that they're just going out with their girlfriends. It's just they're the personality type that uses their emotions more than their logic. And when they're out, drinks are flowing, some hot guy, all their friends are making out with dudes. It looks fun.
It's so short term.
It just happens in the moment. But then there'll be girls that I've dated where I'm like, I could literally put you in a room with like 20 hot dudes and like close the door and there's no cameras. I just know nothing's going to happen ever. I just know.
Yeah. There's definitely girls like that. I have a lot of friends like that they just won't do it.
Just not their thing.
It's definitely not our thing. I think you just learn at one point, like, it's not worth it. Like, you just want something deeper, you know? That's so, like, fast and quick and short-lived and not really earned, if you think about it. What? It took a few drinks to get there? Like, that's not worth it.
And especially for a girl where, like, as a guy, like, you get, like, kind of the clout of, like, you tell your buddies the next day.
For a guy, it's great. For a guy, it's like, woo, it's celebration time. It's like, yeah, I did that. You guys, another night, another successful night.
Some dude fucks you and then he just, like, pops a confetti thing
Yeah,
afterwards.
I wouldn't doubt it. Like, goes and calls his buddies immediately. Like, I'm him. I did that, you know? Like, I don't know. It's not the same for girls. Maybe not all girls. I've seen some girls that validate everything with getting a man and being able to say, like, yeah, he wanted to, like, hook up with me. Like, yeah, he wanted me, you know? Like, it's the same way I imagine girls, beautiful baddies, the IG models that are like, yeah, Drake wanted me. Like, yeah, Chris Brown wanted me, or, like, whoever, you know? That's so short-lived.
And I do hear girls, too, that are insecure where they'll almost brag about, like, turning a guy down. Like, oh, he was so into me. And I was like, nah. Like, but it's weird that they would, like, brag about it like that. Like, someone who's secure in themselves would just be like, oh, like, he shot a shot. Like, I'm not into him, okay? I don't have to, like, talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not that deep.
Yeah. But it's interesting.
Yeah, I think that social media has a lot to do with, like, how people perceive things. I still see things as, like, you're a human, I'm a human. Whoever I meet is a human being. Like, I'm not looking at your, like, you know, I don't see you and I see, like, oh, 1.8 million followers. Like, I'm not seeing that when I'm speaking to a person. You know, I'm, like, trying to get to know the person. And not a lot of people are like that, especially in LA. Like, it's very hard to find genuine connections, I feel.
It is crazy. So I have this one friend that, like, his entire game is just boosting his clout. It's just everything is, yes, I know this person, I know this celebrity. Here's my Instagram. His Instagram is, like, perfectly curated for, like, everything, right? And sometimes I'll hear him talking, like, when I first started hanging out with him and we'd go, whatever, try to pick up chicks together. And I would, like, cringe at some of the stuff he would say because it felt to me like such, like, every word is just a humble brag. Every word is, like so
name
clearly name dropping. And the crazy part was he got so many fucking girls. And sometimes I remember one time a girl even told me, like whatever, he got her number or whatever. And she's telling me later, she's like, yeah, your friend's, like, pretty cringe. Like, yeah, everything is just bragging. He's trying to brag about his life. And then a week later, they hooked up. And I was like, it's like, clout is the equivalent of being, like, a hot girl. If you're a hot girl, you could act however you want and guys will be just lining up because that's how guys are. If you're a guy with clout, you will have girls lining up. It is what it is. You know?
I've seen it, but not everyone will fall for it. Like I said,
for
there's
sure,
categories, you know?
For
like,
sure.
I don't know. Sometimes I've even like, okay, there was this older guy that was, like, in love with me, or he swore he was, like, in love with me. Love bombing, doing the most, you know? And I had to tell him, I'm like, dude, you've never even seen me on my worst day. You've never even seen what I look like in the morning, waking up next to you. Like, you don't even know what I look like. You don't even know what I look like sad or upset. Like, there's no way you can love me. Like, what are you saying? And you're older than me. Like, this was maybe, like, 2 or 3 years ago.
Interesting.
I'm like, you don't even know, like, this makes me not trust you because you're already saying all of these things and you don't even know half of me. You don't even know all my sides, you know?
It makes it you not trust him because
just
like,
not trustworthy. Yeah, like, you're just saying whatever. You're just trying to be a yes man. You're just trying to, like, get me to fall or, like, catch the bait, you know? Like, it's just, like, there's so many people that are just cringe in that sense where they're just, like, fake it till you make it, I guess. But it works for some people.
It is what
I feel like I could see through a lot of bullshit, though.
Yeah.
And it gets me very upset when I fall for bullshit.
You're like, God damn it.
I'm like, I am better than this. I should have seen this from a mile away. What was I doing? You know, like, what the fuck? I get so disappointed in myself.
All right, Melyssa, we're about out of time. I got a couple rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Favorite food?
Italian.
Interesting. Favorite, have you been to Jones?
Never.
Oh, it's a really good spot. You should definitely go sometime.
It's out here?
Yeah, it's like a couple blocks from here.
Okay.
Favorite candy?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't really eat candy like that, but when I do, it's chocolate and stuff with like almonds or walnuts.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite first date spot or activity?
Favorite first date? It was very cute. It was very love and basketball. We had dinner and I was in like heels, and the person that I was on a date with like loved basketball. And we went to a basketball court in like Laguna or Newport Beach or something, and we were just like shooting hoops after. I thought it was very cute and adorable. Probably that one.
Love and Basketball is the cheesiest movie I've ever seen.
It was cheesy, but it was very cute at the time, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then would you like to give any shout outs to any social media, any website, anything like that?
Just mine.
Yeah, go for it.
You can follow me on Melyssa Trends on Instagram to keep up with a few of the modeling and like the million other jobs that I do. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy.
Awesome. Well, this has been fun. We'll have to do a round 2 sometime.
Okay, yeah. I'll probably bring some friends so they can bring their own opinions too.
That works. That works.
The good friends.
No, bring the bad ones too. Okay. The bad ones have the best content.
Okay,
you get some arguments in here. You know?
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening.